Hello, everybody. Today's session is on love, session 8. Reminder, always you are free to take what you resonate with and leave what you do not resonate with. Practice discernment. Back to Socrates, we have another addition to what we can know truly, and that is what you put out is what you get back, or karma. And then we have some updates for those not in the WhatsApp group. Feel free to pause on these slides. And I didn't receive any progress recognitions for this week, so we'll go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and have a little recap about what we've covered so far. We have an understanding of what we are not, our false structures, negative ego, negative beliefs. We've got an understanding of what we can use as permission slips to help us. These are things that help us be more of our true selves, that bypass any negative beliefs or limiting beliefs. We've gotten awareness of the ways negativity slips into our lives through our words, our actions, those around us. We've got an understanding of some positives that we can implement, who we are as eternal and infinite beings, just worth by existence. We've got the idea of the presence of the here and now, why it's important to be in the here and now, because there's only the here and now. The past and future are illusionary. We've come to understand a little bit of all that is, being everything in creation as one. One is all is one. We learned a bit about karma as the reflective teaching mechanism, and frequency. Everything is frequency. And today we'll dive into love. So first, we'll start with our opening grounding meditation. As you go into this, visualize a space that feels safe and relaxing. You may use an image on the screen if you feel so inclined. All right, let's begin by making sure we're comfortable. Allow your body to settle and gently close your eyes. Just take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Again, let's take another deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, letting go of any tension you're holding onto in your body. Bring attention to your feet or whatever's in contact with the earth or the floor. Feel that gravity holding on to you, supporting you. You can visualize roots extending from your body into the earth, reaching down slowly, effortlessly, like warm golden tendrils. With each breath, they grow deeper and wider, anchoring you into the steady presence of the earth. Now let's go ahead and bring our awareness to the rhythm of your breath. For every inhale, you're going to visualize receiving light energy, peace, love. And on the exhale, you'll release negativity, frustration, pain. On the inhales, supportive energy of the earth, strong, calming, nurturing. And on the exhale, allow anything heavy to flow down through those roots. Return to the earth for transmutation. Now go ahead and place one hand or both over your heart. And feel your chest rise and fall with each breath. Notice that within this space, there is a quiet, gentle warmth. Subtle, it's there. The ever-present pulse of love, unconditional and still. You do not need to force it, simply breathe into it. Even your act of breathing right now is an act of care. Silently repeat to yourself, I am safe, I am here, I am held. My roots run deep, my heart stays open. I allow love to rise gently like breath through my body. Feel the rhythm of your body syncing with the calm of the earth and the quiet pulse of love within. No pressure, no performance, just presence. Let's take a few more deep breaths. Really feel it go into your heart space. And breathe in support. Breathe out doubt. Breathe in love. Breathe out fear. And now you are ready and open to receiving the rest of this presentation. All right, so let's start beginning to understand love from a spiritual understanding. So the frequency of all that is itself is felt as unconditional love. So when you're in that state of unconditional love, you're in that state of connection with all that is. Love extends past the emotion itself. It's not just something we seek or give. It is a state of being, and we are love, just as we are all that is. The qualities of art, all that is, extend down to us because we are all that is. So any quality of all that is will be a quality of our own. So we are love, just as we are frequency from the last video. Love is a vibrational state. Right. I shared a vibrational chart last time, and love is just under peace and enlightenment frequency. So we can attune to frequencies of love in other media, such as audio, that can help us really connect to that frequency, know what it is, what it feels like. High frequency love sees clearly, does not cling, fear, or judge. These are properties of the ego, and clarity is property of alignment. So if you're experiencing ego when you are thinking something is love, then you may want to take a step back and have another look at that. Love is the ability to be with what is without needing to fix it. So acceptance without expectation of something else, right? One way to know that you're aligned, to judge alignment within yourself, is ask yourself, am I acting out of love? Why? Because when you are in alignment, you are acting out of love. So if you can ask yourself and answer honestly, then you have another tool to use to check whether you're in alignment with your highest path, highest good. Some more properties of love. Love is coherence. Love is positive energy, and positive energy harmonizes, regenerates, connects. It's connected. We have a quote from our good friend Jesus: "Love your neighbor as yourself." Uh, this is very important because from the highest perspective, one is all and all is one, right? So negativity towards others is a negativity towards yourself. Judgment towards others is judgment on yourself. How you treat someone else is how you're treating yourself. How you treat yourself, in turn, is how you treat others, right? Negativity towards yourself is negativity towards others. There are no enemies. There's a lot of separation being pushed in things like the media. There's separation in our lives. As someone you really don't like, maybe you think of them as enemies, but we know from the frequency video and karma video that there are things in our experience that are there to teach us, right? Everybody in our lives is there for a reason, even if we consider them enemies at the moment. But just as I said, one is all is one. If you're considering them an enemy, you're considering a part of yourself as the enemy. Why are they there? They are there to show us a part of ourselves that is not free, is based on ego or false structure. Love is not just a verb, but an action. And the more you show compassion and service, the more love will automatically flow between you and the subject. And a misperception among most people is that they only feel love when they receive love. But the truth is, and you may have been able to experience this in your life, or if you look back on your life, the times you feel most love is when you are giving and not necessarily when you're receiving. So think of this as loving parents and their child, say is a teenager. That child is most likely if they're in a typically healthy relationship, the parents and the child, that child is typically receiving unconditional love from the parents. But due to programming and hormones and etc., the child may not be feeling loved, even though they're receiving a lot. So that mostly comes from a disconnection from the true self, not practicing true self-love and acceptance of what is, what they are. So there's two parts to this. You need to be open to receiving that love, which most would be closed off due to negative beliefs, negative experiences. and they most likely aren't giving love, giving from a compassion and service standpoint. So this leads to the point that self-love is foundational in any sort of healing, any sort of happy existence, positive experience. We want to love the self as it is, and really unconditionally love yourself. And this is not a non-humble thing to do. Um, Many people would say that this is conceited or something along those lines, but that's more pointing to the extremes of self-love where it becomes conceitedness and just having no view of anybody else. But that's not actually true self-love. That's going into the ego of false love created from negative beliefs. But true self-love is aligned with your true self, your soul, and that will always be giving and including service. So the conceitedness comes from a false understanding of self-love, a false expression of self-love. Because when you love the self, you are all that is, you're loving all that is, right? You understand you are the others around you, they are reflections of you, and you can, from going inwards, go outwards at the same time. This loving the self as it is doesn't mean growth and change are anti-self-love, right? Growth and change are some of the goals of this lifetime. Change never stops. Change is a constant. And being different in the next instant doesn't mean you stop loving the self, right? Having ways you see you can progress and grow doesn't mean you're not loving the current self. So, in lines with what I was saying, true love towards yourself is not performance-based or ego-based. Those are the false senses of self-love. And these may be conditioned by things such as our parents, or you only received good treatment if you had A's in school, high marks, or you only view yourself as loved if you're popular, or something to that effect. People need to like you in order for you to feel love. And the true test would be even if you're alone, you feel love of the universe, the support of your guides around you. So another sense of love, important things to remember is that it involves respecting your own space, time, needs, and experience. So this means having healthy boundaries with others and yourself to make sure your needs are met, that you're not overextending yourself. Um, that you're not dismissing any negative experiences you may be having. Remember, every experience is for a reason, and even if we see them as negative or positive, we have to recognize what sort of beliefs we're holding first and try to bring that experience into neutral before we're able to attribute a true positive experience from that lesson, from that experience. So overall, we want to reframe vibrational love as wholeness and self-honoring. You don't need someone else to complete you or make you feel whole. You should be feeling whole and complete on your own. And anyone coming in is a icing on the top of the cake kind of thing, you know. It's not, it doesn't affect who you are, say relationally, to say if you're single or in a relationship, there's no value judgment on those. You know, you're not any less worthy if you're single. Some people have value judgment that's ego-based or performance-based. You know, they're not worth anything if they aren't in a relationship. So that's a sign that they are not providing themselves self-love. So here's some key components of self-love. Self-acceptance. We want to embrace ourselves, including our imperfections, and make sure we're recognizing our inherent worth. Because remember, just by existing, we are inherently worthy. We are part of all that is, and all that is not complete without us. Self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and support you would offer a close friend or child. This is a big one with people who tend to beat themselves up over their performance or having done something. Remember, we're all here to learn, to grow, and it wouldn't be learning and growing if we were perfect, right? Perfect in action, how we are. So it doesn't help to have negative beliefs about ourselves and berate ourselves over that. Next, self-care. When you prioritize your physical and emotional well-being through healthy habits, boundaries, and activities that bring you joy, you're taking care of yourself, showing yourself that love. Setting healthy boundaries. You protect your energy and well-being by saying no to things that drain you and prioritizing your needs. And remember, this is not selfish, prioritizing your needs. You can't pour from an empty cup, I believe is the popular saying. You know, make sure your cup's full first, and then you have much more to pour rather than struggling to pour out at the bottom and draining yourself. Overall, that may lead to negative health or mental health issues, and then you aren't able to pour at all at that point, right? So when you fill your cup through protecting your energy, self-care, self-compassion, you're then able to spread more, you're able to pour more. So remember, from the all that is perspective, we are all that is. As you do positive things for yourself, you're doing positive things for others inherently. And when you have a full cup, you're able to actually take those actions to do more service and compassionate things for others, which when you're aligned, you're naturally drawn to do. Challenging the false self, negative ego. It's a form of self-love to come back and remember your true self and release the hold from the positive, from the negative ego, from the false structures within us and negative beliefs. Forgive yourself, forgive others, release yourself from the burden of past mistakes and events, and choose to learn from them rather than dwelling on regret. Aligned action, feeding positivity into your life through things like that bring excitement, joy, passion, creativity, love. Remember, these things will include things like service. Um, Most of them happen with others, right? So we're in service of others when we are having fun with someone else. When we're being creative, we are creating something that we can then share to others. Everything that we create has someone waiting to receive it, to view it, to interact with it. We don't have the urges to create without there being someone there who wants to receive what you have to give. Okay, now we'll move on to love and relationships. Loving another means seeing them as they are currently, not what you want from them, not their potential, not who they've been. So we're really digging into the unconditional part of love. We love them for who they are, no matter what. We have a decent amount of relationship issues here in the West, because people are acting out of some form of non-love when they enter relationships or develop their relationships. So someone may be providing, say, money and marrying that person for money. And what happens when that person, say, loses all their money? Well, there's no longer a basis for the relationship and it falls into disrepair. Another thing is, ooh, this person has potential. I'll stick with them, marry them. And if that potential doesn't play out, then there's nothing holding up the relationship anymore and it falls into disrepair. Um, Not who they've been is sort of ego-based, marrying someone for their past actions, their past career, their popularity is not a form of unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't feel the need to fix or fuse with the other person. Right. So if we're feeling the need to fix someone else, then we're looking at the potential. When they're quote unquote fixed, they'll be a good partner, but that's conditional, right? Fusing is something that you want. You're not feeling whole within yourself. You're thinking to yourself, you need someone to complete you. But remember, should be whole in ourselves. So fusing would be an example of codependence or an unhealthy self-image. True love, unconditional love is freeing, right? We're not trying to control the other. We want them to be themselves in alignment with themselves. And we want us to be ourselves in alignment with ourselves. And the right pairing will have the same kind of alignment to do greater, better things together. That's not conditional. That's two wholes working together versus trying to become one whole. An action in unconditional love is offering love and support without expecting anything in return. So people will often put conditions on love, such as how many times they're going out a week, or if how often they receive gifts, and if they don't meet those expectations, then uh, their partner's doing something wrong or something like that. Most of those issues can be resolved with communication, healthy communication, and really digging into any ego involved on both sides, both parties. But this doesn't mean we accept harmful behavior. Um, if your partner is actually not providing any sort of unconditional love on their part, then that doesn't mean we have to accept that. We can still love them unconditionally, but that includes removing yourself if the situation requires it. Our love is not contingent on their behavior. We want to make sure we're implementing respect, forgiveness, boundaries, healthy relationship things. The core underlying issues that are dropping in today's society, not as remembered, maybe, is that making mistakes is seen as unforgivable or something like that. We want to remember the through thick and thin in most marriage ceremonies. That basically means unconditionally, right? Um, we'll dive into some things that are often confused for love. Number one being infatuation. This is an intense idealization and sense of connection to another person, but it's ultimately shallow. There's very little depth behind this infatuation. This is typically crushes. Limerence is a romantic obsession where you have intrusive thoughts and fantasies without reciprocation. Another form of something that feeds crushes. We have attachment. If it's beyond healthy attachment, it can stem from insecurity and attachment style. Sexual attraction. This can not, this can be where it's not driven by a true intimacy, and sexual attraction doesn't necessarily indicate that there's love behind it. Feeling safe, you may have an attachment style that may make the familiar, such as negative situations, even in the past. It can make those negative situations feel safe, even if it's not. This is a big one where people feel safe with people who replicate their parents, even if their parents were, say, abusive or not aligned. They are familiar with that sort of thing, so they are attracted to people who give off that same sort of feeling, that same sort of familiar negativity. And they feel safe in that, even though it's most likely not safe. for them. Attention and admiration. If you had needs that were rarely met, that may lead to attaching to the first person that gives that need to you, even if they're not overall a healthy individual. Friendship. Friendship love can be confused as romantic love. Mutual interests do not necessarily mean you're compatible. And obsession is an intense and all-consuming feeling and thoughts that are unhealthy and not actually love. So we want to be aware of these and understand the unconditional love that resides within all of us. Next, we'll go ahead and understand the frequency of love, which provides healing. It has a positive impact on your emotional and physical states. The frequency of 528 hertz is generally understood as the frequency of love, of healing. We can do many practices to embody these 528 hertz, and through meditation, through gratitude practices, through intention and mindfulness, uh, we can attune ourselves to this 528 hertz. You can use tone generators to understand the frequency and then replicate that through these. Next, our permission slip for this week is a loving kindness meditation, or metta. It involves cultivating feelings of love, kindness, and compassion towards oneself and others. We want to silently focus or repeat phrases that express well-wishing and extend those feelings to others, starting from the self and moving out to loved ones, friends, acquaintances, strangers, quote unquote enemies, all the way out to all that is. We want to make sure we're unconditionally loving, no expectations or judgment whether someone deserves it. We are just giving. We do the gradual expansion to make sure that we're touching ourselves with the love first, and then making sure we're in that state as we extend it to others, and making sure we're actually feeling the love, not just thinking love. Really call up the emotion, sensation. Thank you all for joining. For those who are interested, start the meditation. All right, let's go ahead and remember our grounded feeling from earlier. Allow your body to settle. Let go of any tension you're holding on to. Let's bring awareness to our breath. Feel the air moving in and out. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel your body supported by the earth or chair beneath you. There's nowhere else to be, nowhere else to go, nothing to achieve. Just be here right now, aware and present. Let's bring our attention to our heart center. Imagine a warm, soft light, perhaps golden or pink, gently glowing in your chest. This is the light of love already present within you. Let's begin by offering loving kindness to yourself. Silently repeat these words slowly and with sincerity. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease. You can adapt these phrases to suit your voice, such as, may I be kind to myself. May I forgive myself. May I know peace. If you find your mind wandering, gently return to your breath and your phrases. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease. Now bring to mind someone that you love, someone who brings you joy, safety, warmth. See them in your mind's eye and feel their presence. Now let's offer them the same loving phrases. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Feel the light in your heart extending towards them and surrounding them with gentle warmth. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Now bring to mind someone you neither strongly like nor dislike. Perhaps a cashier, neighbor, or someone you recently saw. Visualize this person and offer them the same loving kindness. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Let the love in your heart extend to them equally. They are a being just like you, longing for love, peace, and safety. Now let's bring to mind someone who challenges you, a difficult relationship, or someone who has caused you pain. Do not start with someone who deeply traumatized you, just choose someone who mildly triggers discomfort. Hold them gently in your awareness, without needing to justify or condone any actions. Simply see their humanity. Offer them the same phrases. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. If resistance arises, it's okay. You're simply planting a seed. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Now let's extend our loving kindness to all beings. Feel the warmth in your heart expanding outwards like ripples on a pond or rays of light from the sun. Expand your loving kindness to your community, your region, your country, the whole world, the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, all universes, all that is. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings live with ease. And let the light in your heart become boundless. Let it radiate without limit. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings live with ease. And sit here in this radiance for a few minutes. Okay, now let's gently return our awareness to our breath. Feel your body. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, and know that the love that you've cultivated is within you and within all that is. When you're ready, you may open your eyes slowly and give gratitude for yourself, your experience, and for all beings. Thank you all for joining. Love you all. Have a good week.